studio guest interview in the studio with us this morning. Now, Dr. Peter Baofu is the author of 109 New Theories in 136 scholarly books as of March 31st this year, and numerous articles to provide a visionary challenge to conventional wisdom in all fields of knowledge, that is the social sciences, formal sciences, natural sciences, and the humanities, with the aim for its unified theories of everything, together with numerous visions of future history in relation to the mind, nature, society, and culture. So let's just welcome him to the show. Hello, hi, and good morning, Doctor.
Hi, good morning.
And how are you today?
I'm very fine, thank you.
Good, good. First of all, welcome to Brunei, and I understand you're a Chinese American doctor, yeah?
Yes,
so,
I am.
before we go to the questions, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? I mean, I'm pretty sure the listeners will want to know who is the real Dr. Peter Baofu. Mm-hmm.
Well, I am a very complicated person. I'm a writer. I am an American academic for many years, and I have, as you just mentioned in your introduction, I have finished more than 136 books on all topics, and that's why I'm here in Brunei, because of my world tour.
It's such an honor to meet you, Doctor.
Yeah.
And so we mentioned that you've written 136 scholarly books altogether. Can you just give us a brief summary on what types of books were published? In all those numbers.
Yes. One of the major objectives of my publication is to provide some visions of the future in all fields of knowledge. So in relation, let's say, to the mind, nature, society, and culture. So I'm trying to predict what is going to happen in the human future. And what kind of visions that I can propose to change them, to make things better. So this is one of the most fundamental objectives of my
So you're
writing.
here in Brunei, as you mentioned earlier on, is on a research, right? So can you tell us a little bit more about what your research is?
One of my major ethnographic research objectives is to understand why some regions, some peoples are much more developed than some others, and why some are much more successful than some others, and try to give up some explanations and some policy recommendations about what to do to make things better.
I see. So you mentioned you were on a world tour. So which countries have you been to before Brunei?
Oh, I have been in more than 83
Wow,
or 84
you were very
different
well
countries
traveled.
around the world,
Around
not
the
just in one region. And that's why I said there is a major focus in terms of understand the whole humanity, not just one people, one group, one race, one gender, but in all of them. That's why my publications are so massive and so important, because it attacks some of the most fundamental issues about humanity.
Yeah, so have any advice or tips for maybe local researchers or authors that might want to follow your footsteps?
I prefer not to tell other people what to do, because I know that everywhere I go, if I preach something, people say that, well, it's very standard for Americans to go to another countries and tell other people what to do. So I'm very sensitive to that kind of criticism, so I prefer not to tell other people what to do, but rather I can just give my own personal assessment for myself, what I can do. I think that a lot of things that what I can do can be copied by other people, but they are also not copyable. So for example, one of the things that a lot of people have been asking me to improve their publications is that I often joke with them, but it's also an honest opinion, is that many professors nowadays, when they try to write something, to publish something, they ask for funding first from the university. I think that if that's what you want to do, you will not be very good in publications. If you only think about money and funding for your publications, I think that it's much better for you to see what you can do without funding. Then now you are self-motivated. It's a very unusual assessment that I have for myself.
The first time I've heard of that, Doctor. So it has been a pleasure having you with us today, Dr. Baofu. So once again, just a little introduction. Dr. Baofu earned an entry on the list of prominent and emerging writers and contemporary authors in 2005, and another honorary entry in the Writers' Directory in 2007, and was also interviewed on TV TV and radio, as well as for newspapers around the world about his original ideas and visions of the future. He was a US Fulbright scholar in the Far East, and he had taught as a professor at different universities in Western Europe, the Caucasus, the Middle East, the Balkans, Central Asia, South Asia, North America, and Southeast Asia, and also lived for a few decades around the world in all civilizations in 83 countries as of April 2018. He finished more than 5 academic degrees, including a PhD from the world-renowned MIT, and was a summa cum laude graduate, as well as the recipient of the 1986 Delta Sigma Pi Scholarship, key for being at the top of the class in the College of Business Administration with another student. Wow, I'm very, very impressed. Really, really an honor to meet you today, Dr. Peter, and we wish you all the best. Good luck in your future publications.
And thank you for inviting me. I wish you all the best as well.